I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, I'm delighted to introduce you to a very talented author by the name of Jalleh Doty. She is heralded by Kirkus Reviews for her compelling voice and creativity. Well, right now she is presenting her latest work. It is called The Child of Humanity, Last Savior. It is a poignant narrative dedicated to the brave souls combating the darkest parts of human nature. This book resonates with the author's decade-long commitment to storytelling and reflective insight, and it beckons readers through a voyage to avoid the perils and get the promises of seeking a world where dignity and happiness are inalienable rights. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight, and we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel, and more importantly, purchasing this wonderful book. The links are below. Jalleh, great to see you here today.
Thanks for having me on.
This is a wonderful book. It's very, very inspiring. And I love how you explore such powerful themes such as human rights and dignity. What's the inspiration behind this work?
The inspiration behind this work is that I've always challenge people to think, to wonder. And I mean, it's like, even if they're shocked along the way, I'm just like, why not? I mean, I know it's like we live in like this world where it's like everything has been like hashed and like rehashed, like, again and again. And it's just, I wanted to just like do something new, just make people think, make people watch, just be like, huh? Oh, like, wow, I'm going to check out this book, because like, my question is that what would happen if like Jesus Christ came back to the modern world,
Exactly. It's a wonderful premise. It's a creative premise. And you've got to think, my God, if Jesus Christ came into 2023, what would he make of this world? Tell us what it was like developing the characters and the world that you created within The Child of Humanity, Last Savior.
Well, just basically like it's been like a journey. At the time I was actually writing this with my partner, and I mean there's actually a story like within the story if you want to hear it.
Sure.
And because I was writing this with like my partner Perry Adley, and it's just basically, unfortunately, like in 2014, she had passed of cancer. And it was like I was just on like this weird quest, because I made her a promise. I was like, I'm getting our book out, whatever I got to do, because like I mean, I will admit, I mean, it wasn't all me, because I was writing this along with like another person,
Exactly.
And just basically, it's just like our line of thoughts is that we just wanted to just create like a post-apocalyptic like fantasy land in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you gotta look at history. It's like every period has always had like a dark, like proverbial dark age before there was like a renaissance,
Yeah. Well, hopefully there's a renaissance before this, after this dark age, because it seems like things are very, very trying right now in 2023 with all of the mass murders that go on and so forth that seem to be every day, which is very, very shocking. Now, your writing journey has changed along the way.
Oh yeah.
You were writing short stories and poetry, and now you're crafting a novel. Tell us about that journey.
Well, are you talking about like right now, or like the book like on like the Child of Humanity?
I'm talking about your progression as a writer.
Oh, my progression as a writer. Yeah, that has been that's a really good question. That's been like a really fantastic journey for me, because like I've always been like an observer of like the human scene, and it's just I just keep getting like these ideas along the way, and it's just like, oh, like I'm like watching this person, and like this person would make like an interesting character or something, or like observing a situation and be like, oh wow, this situation is like really interesting, like like how would it work, like in a book or stuff like that. I've always been like imaginative, I've always been like creative, like that's how people would describe me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not limited by like conventional beliefs, which is why, that's like my style of writing, because So I think it's like the possibilities out there for just like so many things is just like are just so endless, you know?
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, the creativity and the imagination is certainly there in this book. Now, is this kind of a sequel? Because you've also written The Last Savior Book One. Tell us about that.
Yeah, like the Child of Humanity is actually like a series book.
Mhm.
And just basically like I mean that one I admit, you know, it did like come for me because like I went for like a pulp novel theme where it's like, you know, like it's like everybody has like a story to tell, but it's just
Mhm.
like there's like not enough time like to get it done, you know.
Yeah.
Because like the first one, it was primarily like, you know, like it was more like a storybook, you know. It was like, you know, just like settling like the grounds for the story, you know, like to get people like engrossed and to be like, okay, like this is the start of a story. But it's like, but it's gonna be like if things like go as planned,
Mhm.
um you know, like you're gonna have like the like Child of Humanity. I mean, it's kind of like in the works right now. Child of Humanity like part two and like Child of Humanity like part three. And it tends to take more like a pulp novel theme because of the fact that as like, you know, like our like the hero grows like into an adult and he
Mhm.
starts like meeting people. I mean, he starts like, you know, like trying to change the world, you know, like going on like a hero's journey. And as he meets people, like, and just like someone like, you know, tell his story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
he
the
has like
evolution
this,
of the character, I think, is what
yeah.
makes his book so powerful. Have you envisioned it perhaps as a series of films or a series on Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hulu or something like that?
Oh my gosh, that is an awesome question. Um, my fantasy is that like some producer or like production company or like you could would like pick this up and I don't know. This like it gets developed like into a TV series on like Hulu or like Netflix or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that would
Well,
be like
well, your
so
work
cool.
is out there now, so you never know whose hands it'll wind up in, which is wonderful. And I think it is such a unique and imaginative take on society and Jesus that I think it would be a wonderful series for sure. What do you hope readers take away from your book?
What I hope readers would take away from my book. That's a really good question. I mean, just basically like what I've always like done to people is just like to challenge them to like to think, you know, like, to wonder, you know, it's just to like not accept like the social norm of things, you know, and just be like, okay, you know, it's like here's like this weird book that came out to the market, you know, and it just and yes, it's making me think, it's making me wonder, you know, like now what, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, if it's making you question, if it's making you wonder, if it's inspiring you, it's
Yes.
absolutely doing its job, that's for sure. And you're doing your job.
Oh,
Are
thank
you
you.
working on the next installment in this series?
Um, no, just only like I only did like three books because like, you know, I kind of like wrapped up everything like in the proverbial third book, if you will.
Mhm.
Because like basically, as I aforementioned before, like book two, excuse me, and book three, like part two and like part three, you know, they actually take like a pulp novel turn
Mhm.
because like you're seeing like from part two, like the hero is like he grows up, you know, he gets out in the world, you know, and he it's just like people that, like they're staring at him, but it's just like he's not like the Almeida like perfect like hero stuff. He's kind of like the like this hero that he's human, you know.
Mhm.
I mean, he wants to save humanity like from itself, you know, before like so like from like his proverbial extinction. To get people to stop questioning like conventional religion and stuff.
Yeah.
And just basically like in the like part two, you see like the perspective of like one of his closest confidants who like actually witnesses birth.
Mhm.
And she's like chronicling his journey, you know, and just like from her perspective, you know, and just she makes like all these observations about him and everything, like who he meets, you know, how he's perceived like to the world. You know, Chris, he's not like this like this saint, you know, where people are like, oh, you know. Because some people like you like if he meets you, this like it's like, yeah, I heard of you, you know, it's just like you're like a charlatan or something, you know, like stuff like that. And but it's like in the book in part three, we get the perspective of like his best friend, his betrayer.
Hmm.
I mean, who has to betray him, but it's not like some empty betrayal. I mean, it kind of like goes into like detail as to why he betrayed him, and it's just like how he was, it's just so remorseful that he did that, and he goes off on like this crazy quest, like to save his friend, you know, from him, you know, before like, you know, like the powers that be like do him in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a wonderful journey. It's a wonderful book. It's creative. And I love the themes of the book, that it helps combat the darkest facets of human nature. I think that's important. The name of the book is Child of Humanity, Last Savior. It is a poignant narrative dedicated to brave souls out there fighting the good fight. People like the author, Jalleh Doty. Jalleh, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on.
My pleasure. Great speaking with you. And to the
Likewise,
folks
you
at
too.
home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.